We here at Big Yellow Robot love movies just as much as you do, so we made a list of our favorite 20 family films of the past decade. There were tons of great movies produced in the 2010s, but this group is our favorite. Let's start the countdown. At number 20 is Despicable Me, the first movie in Illumination Entertainment's hugely successful franchise. Steve Carell is Gru, a supervillain who tries to steal the moon and ends up adopting 3 adorable orphans in the process. But the real stars of this flick are the hilarious Minions, who would go on to become little yellow pop culture phenomenons and star in their own movie in 2015. Our pick for number 19, Pixar's Monsters University. This underrated 2013 movie is a prequel to the successful Monsters, Inc. and shows what Mike and Sully were like back in college. It showcases once again the winning chemistry of John Goodman and Billy Crystal, and also features the talents of Helen Mirren, voicing the tough Dean Abigail Hardscrabble, and Alfred Molina as Professor Knight. At 18 is Wonder, the film adaptation of the best-selling children's novel of the same name by R.J. Palacio. Jacob Tremblay plays a boy named Augie with a facial deformity who's just trying to fit in. Tremblay does an excellent job, and so does little-known actress Julia Roberts, who plays Augie's loving mom. It's a relatable story that tugs at the heartstrings and makes for fine family entertainment. At 17, it's Sing, a computer-animated jukebox musical comedy produced by Illumination. It stars an ensemble voice cast including Matthew McConaughey and Reese Witherspoon. All the characters are animals preparing for a big singing competition. The film includes more than 60 songs from famous artists like Taylor Swift's Shake It Off and Elton John's I'm Still Standing. I'm still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. The sequel Sing 2 hits theaters in 2021. Number 16, Big Hero 6. Disney's tale of an unlikely robotic superhero called Baymax and his 14-year-old owner, Hero. It has just the right mix of action, humor, and heart, not to mention some fantastic animation. And who could forget the great bot fight scene at the beginning of the movie? You haven't seen this film yet? Get on it! Disney's live-action Jungle Book comes in at number 15. Director Jon Favreau really makes the animals come to life in this movie, which was heavily inspired by 1967's animated film of the same name. It tells the story of Mowgli, an orphaned human boy who, guided by his animal guardians, sets out on a journey of self-discovery while evading the threatening Shere Khan. And Idris Elba is especially good as the man-hating man-eater. Next up at number 14 is The Adventures of Tintin, Steven Spielberg's rollicking adventure movie based on the comic book series of the same name. Tintin is the story of an intrepid reporter, his dog Snowy, and a drunken sea captain on a treasure hunt for a sunken ship. What's not to love? It's a lavishly animated thrill ride loaded with humor and suspense. The action sequences will remind you of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and John Williams even does the score. At 13 is the animated fantasy film Song of the Sea, from Cartoon Saloon and writer-director Tom Moore. It's about an Irish boy who discovers his mute sister is a Selkie, who must find her voice and free some supernatural creatures from the spell of a Celtic goddess. By the way, in mythology, a Selkie is a creature who can change from human to seal. Anyway, not a lot of people saw this movie when it came out, but don't let that stop you. You'll love the timeless story and charming, hand-drawn animation of this family-friendly gem. Number 12 on our list of the best family films of the past decade is Tangled. This animated musical had a ton of good songs, and Mandy Moore as the lead was perfect casting. The film tells the story of a lost young princess named Rapunzel, played by Moore, with magical long blonde hair, who yearns to leave her secluded tower. Against her mother's wishes, Rapunzel accepts the aid of an intruder who takes her out into the world, which she's never seen. Number 11, Hugo. Martin Scorsese directs this computer-animated adaptation of Brian Selznick's modern classic picture book, The Invention of Hugo Cabret. It was nominated for 11 Academy Awards and won 5. Orphaned and alone except for an uncle, Hugo Cabret, voiced by Asa Butterfield, lives in the walls of a train station in 1930s Paris. Hugo's job is to oil and maintain the station's clocks, but to him, his more important task is to protect a broken automaton and a notebook left to him by his late father. At number 10 is The Greatest Showman. This live-action musical is loosely based on the life of P.T. Barnum, and like the man himself, a real crowd-pleaser. With its sharp storytelling and super catchy soundtrack, plus all that Hugh Jackman charisma, this movie was destined to be entertaining. Some critics found it a little schmaltzy, but we don't know any normal people who saw the movie and didn't like it, including us. Number 9, Zootopia. Critics and audiences went wild for this computer-animated mystery comedy from Disney, which made over $1 billion at the box office and won an Academy Award for Best Animated Movie. Zootopia is a mammal metropolis and features Judy Hopps, the likable Ginnifer Goodwin, as the first rabbit to join the police force, and Nick Wilde, a wily fox played by the wily and well-cast Jason Bateman. Number 8 is a tie, Paddington and Paddington 2. The original movie is as sweet as a marmalade sandwich, and the sequel's so good, it's the only movie on our list to get a rare 100% rating from Rotten Tomatoes. Based on the famous children's books, the movies are about an anthropomorphic bear who migrates from the jungles of Peru to the streets of London, where he's adopted by the Brown family. Both films are perfectly balanced between heartwarming family fare and enjoyable all-ages adventure. Well done, Paddington! Coming in at numero 7 is Coco, Pixar's animated fantasy musical about a 12-year-old boy named Miguel, who's accidentally transported to the land of the dead. There, he seeks the help of his deceased musician great-great-grandfather to return him to his family among the living and to reverse his family's ban on music. This film was praised for its animation, music, voice acting, emotional story, and respect for Mexican culture. Coco is a lively, thoughtful, heart-tugging adventure for the whole family. Number 6, Incredibles 2. Pixar's Incredibles sequel took years to get to the big screen, but it was worth the wait. Though maybe not quite as good as the first movie, this superhero film was still incredible fun and grossed over $1.2 billion, making it the third highest grossing animated movie of all time. Writer-director Brad Bird has mom and dad switching roles this time, with Helen out fighting the evil screenslaver and Bob trying to take care of the kids at home. You gotta love that scene with baby Jack Jack and the raccoon. Lego Movie is number 5 on our list. In this computer-animated fantasy action movie, Emmett, played by Chris Pratt, is an ordinary Lego figurine who always follows the rules and gets mistakenly identified as the Special, an extraordinary being and the key to saving the world. With a witty script and super cool animation, directors Chris Miller and Phil Lord were firing on all cylinders here. This movie is so awesome! Number 4, Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse. Due to some pretty intense action scenes, this movie isn't for little kids, but the rest of the family will love it. In fact, some have called Spider-Verse one of the best superhero movies of all time. It has stunning animation, a cool soundtrack, an exciting origin story, and a cast of well-developed, likable characters. You'll love meeting teenager Miles Morales and a bunch of other interesting Spider-Verse heroes. Even a Spider Pig. Frozen comes in at number 3. This animated Disney movie enchanted critics and audiences alike with its original story and super catchy soundtrack. We dare you to listen to Let It Go without singing along. Frozen tells the story of a fearless princess who sets off on a journey alongside a rugged iceman, his loyal reindeer, and a naive snowman to find her estranged sister whose icy powers have inadvertently trapped the kingdom in eternal winter. Our pick for number 2, Toy Story 3. All 4 of the Toy Story movies are great, but this one really takes it to another level. The plot focuses on Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and Andy's other remaining toys accidentally being donated to a daycare center, while Andy, now 17 years old, is preparing for college. The film deftly blends comedy, adventure, and honest emotion, and if the ending doesn't bring a tear to your eye, you might be made of plastic yourself. And our pick for best family movie of the past decade? Inside Out. Yeah, we know this list has a bunch of other Pixar films, but what can we say? That studio just knows how to make movies. They went out on a creative limb with this highly original effort, making a feature film about a tween girl's emotions. It not only worked, it was a masterpiece. The film centers on Riley, an 11-year-old girl from a small town in Minnesota who moves with her family to San Francisco. Within her mind's headquarters, 5 personifications of her basic emotions: joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger come to life and influence her behavior via a control console. Everything works in this movie. The voice talent is top-notch, it's clever, gorgeously animated, and powerfully moving. The best animated movie of the past decade, and one of the best of any genre in the past 10 years. Well, that was our list of the 20 greatest family films of the past decade. Did you agree with us? If not, that's okay. Write something in comments. We hope you enjoyed our compilation, and we look forward to seeing what kind of family films will come out in the next 10 years. Don't forget to subscribe to Big Yellow Robot, and we'll see you next time.